Alright, so as I was walking the fields, I realized the pH is horrendous at this point. So, I'm not going to, show this, cover it. I'm just going to get this done. I'm going to get all 4 fields limed up to the top. That should hopefully help with the yield a little bit. Looking at the outcome, it looks like we're only like 8% below where we would be, but every little bit helps, and it's going to help our environmental score, which is going to help a bonus too, so it's going to get us more cash. And this entire cart took 1,500 pounds. So yes, I'm going to get this all finished up, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming. So looks like we're still in a holding pattern. Looks like, I think that's our oats. Yep. So those might be ready tomorrow. So just gonna hang out today. Alright, well, hopefully it'll stop raining soon, because it's not showing a rain icon. But our field is ready to harvest, so I'm gonna get stuff ready to go so that when the rain backs off, I can get those oats up. And I'm going to check and see first if I can get that in the canola. Should be able to. And then we can get rid of that little oopsie daisy, and I'll continue on from there. Alright, well, the timing couldn't be more perfect as I drove over. Alright, so was able to get that off the field. Always a wonderful thing. Oops, I don't need the straw swath this time, so I think I'm gonna turn it off just to be able to move along. So we'll just end up plowing that little bit under, and we've got a little bit that dropped in the canola field, I see. I think we got like, I don't know, 10 liters off there at most, so not much, but again, we just need 500 to finish our VIP level 3. And now that we have the fill limiter, I can just go. So I'm going to get this thing harvested first in its entirety. I didn't think I had a track saved, but figured I'd check. So get this moving here. Set the track as I go up. Kind of bouncing around, hard to... Whoops, not quite. There we go. So I think we're good. Probably means we're also... yeah. Didn't think I'd make it, but it's always worth a shot. So... yeah, ended up using 2 loads of lime, got all the crop fields done, but then had some left, and so I had a choice of, do I just dump it out in crates and save it, or do I use it? So I ended up using, I made my normal mistake, I forgot the width. So I have the width fixed. So now we should be good. It'll pick up that little bit. I was wondering why it was drifting away from the edge when it looked like it was gonna stay there and harvest it appropriately. But so yeah, I think those oats hang off a bit, so they look like they're way past the header, but you can see where the field is. We're hitting that all. So what I was starting to say is I ended up liming field 11. You can kind of see that now. That isn't snow. We're now in spring, so but once the crop goes in, obviously you can't tell, but so there's a little bit up there in the north. You can see where I ran short, tiny bit, but for all intents and purposes, field 11 is also fully limed as well. And I don't think that would do much for the grass, but it's certainly not a bad start. Alright, well, we have what we need. question is, because we basically would need, if we got 20,000 somehow, we would have enough to do level 3 and level 4. We're not going to do that. I just can't even see how that's possible. I know we're at 2,000 now, but that was one pass up, one headland at the bottom, and as you can see, we've got maybe 9-10 rows in total by the time we get this field done, if even that. And you know, we're not going to even hit 3,000 at the bottom of this. So, but yeah, got close. I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to be just shy of what we need. I mean, I'd be a disappointed fool if I was thinking that I was going to somehow do this. You know, obviously, putting the lime down ups the harvest a bit, but, you know, it's not going to be enough to matter. So, I'm going to get this done, and then we will, at a minimum, get our oats delivered, and, see what level 7 looks like, and, you know, get what we can delivered from level 4. Once again, if I can't, you know, do the whole level 4 piece, I won't, you know, won't take it all there. So, see you in a bit. Not only did I not get near 20,000, I barely got halfway there. I needed about 700 here to get to 10,000. So as you can see, I might hit 11,000 in total off this field. So yes, we're going to need more oats in the near future to accommodate whatever we do for level 4. But right now, we've got to deal with level 3. So I'm going to... I was worried about that. I'm like, I'm going to get stuck before I turn around, and I did. Might still get stuck there. Yeah, this does not have a great turning radius. I don't know, maybe it's as good as any harvester, but it just seems way, way worse. Alright. So I am going to actually drop the header over here in the wood, you know, kind of on the ground. I don't need to go put it back on the trailer. Pretty sure we're close to the canola. I'm going to take a peek here as I go around. So yeah, we're at 7 of 8. Then we're going to have, I think, 8 of 8 forage. And, so forth. So, I noticed earlier when I was playing around here that I'm getting dangerously low on fuel. I haven't gotten anything to haul fuel to the farm yet, even though I have that tank, but so right now, and we're not that far, basically the gas station is just a little past the store. So I'm just going to take the harvester into town and go ahead and get myself some fuel. Looks like the farmer there has got some corn going on. So our sunflowers are going to look just as big and bold too, but yeah, that is a good field of corn. Alright, so here we are at the fuel station. You can see the green number in fuel. We're at 86 liters out of 670. So we still had 10%. I'm sure we're going to get below $300,000 by the time we fill up here. But, you know, the important thing is, obviously, that we have the fuel we need to continue to operate the farm. So, kind of cost of doing business, if you want to call it that, because that's what it is. Alright. So there you go. So you can see we're burning, you know, according to that, when I've got, you know, my fuel on there, because right now it's, whoop, He came out of nowhere, big black van. I was trying to look, but then suddenly he appeared. But when we're hitting it, you can see we're sometimes burning up to 100 liters per hour. But if we're just idling, it's about 10 liters an hour, so it's not much at that point. But I'll get back to the farm, and we'll get on with our next task. Alright, so we need to get 19,000 oats to Moondog. So I've got my fill limiter on. You can see we've got a little over 29,000. So we'll get ourselves filled up here. It's definitely a quick dumping silo. I like that. There we go. We've reached our fill limit. I cannot describe how excited I am that we now have this, because it just makes things like this so much easier. I can get things to market exactly as needed, not end up selling things that I shouldn't, nor does it take any effort at this point to get the right amount. I don't have to keep filling, emptying until I get really close. So I'll see you at Moondog's. Alright, so a little bit after 11 o'clock here. Arriving at Moondog. Get these oats to the VIP. So here we go. There it is. VIP order. And then we're going to get the 144 as well, so there you go. So we got 313, 215, 144.5 plus the 2400 for the environmental score reward. So we know we don't have enough for oats for level 4, and it looks like as that popped up, just as a reminder, it's got 3 items again. Actually, I guess we had 4 items for level 3. Ooh, there's a floating deer up in the sky. Now he came down. So, but we have eggs, which we already have enough, and we're ready. Sunflowers were growing, so we'll have enough for that. And so it looks like, again, we do need oats. So, whoops, I'm on the wrong side of the road. I had forgotten. So, it's starting to look very much like I should probably just put more oats in the field, but I need to take a look at that because I know I got about 11,000 off of that, and I think we need, I guess we just need 19,000 oats. I was thinking we needed 25,000 oats. So we could be okay with that, and then we could leave other fields for something else to plan ahead. But I think at this point, I will say you don't know how tempting it is to, I think it's field 19, buy that field across the way, because that is planted with sunflowers right now too. And then obviously more importantly, I'd have it. But I think I'm just gonna not be too thrilled then. I think I'm gonna have problems with cows and the supplies I need for that, because I'm gonna need to be able to move slurry, so I'm gonna need a tanker, so forth. It's really tempting, either that one or this field here, the one with the corn in it, 44. Well, that's actually not this field here. That's 46 that I'm looking at. Not far enough along yet. But, obviously I'd want things that are near me, but it just doesn't make sense, I think. So what I think I might do, though, to see if it does, is I may go ahead, since I'm kind of done, I could just turn around and immediately put the oats in, but I think if I instead right now focus on figuring out what cows are going to look like, and that again becomes, do I just have the cows delivered and pay the delivery fee, or do I get a trailer, move them, because I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure at some point I will sell some cows, but if I just get a small group to start, I think once again the delivery fee is like $200 a head, and then I think this, the smallest reasonable trailer, I mean, where I'm not just moving like 4 cows, which is kind of ridiculous, I think is still like $50,000, which means I'd need like 250 cattle to even pay that kind of a delivery fee, and I'm not doing that many at this point. It's like, it'll be different if I'm like going to sell the cattle, because then I'm taking things that I'm getting money for immediately, where here I'm just really saving the delivery fee is all I would be doing. So let me think about that. So let me get this parked and we'll dig into that a little bit. So for level 5, which right now as it sits, like we should get to it a lot faster than we did through level 3, because once again, like, this is ready, this is in the field and ready. We're going to get 14,000 liters and then some. It's just, there's some temptation. So let's see. Oh goodness, we've got to do sugar cane. I've never done sugar and potatoes. Wow. I mean, I can abort VIP orders, but I think that, I don't know what that does, and I'm kind of trying to avoid doing that in this series if I can. They're definitely getting challenging, because yeah, I need butter, so I'm going to need a production. And the other thing that I don't know is if I have more fields, do my quantities increase accordingly? Does the VIP order mod look at the acreage and say, well, now you've got an additional set of acres to go? Because yeah, at this point, like, I mean, I think we need milk to do butter, so I think there's going to be some milk requirements there. But I was going to say, short of the slurry, right now there's no other animal byproduct that we're looking at, so I don't need anything substantial. So let's take a look. So at a minimum, really the lowest cost reasonable transport trailer is 25,000 pounds. So I need 250 cattle or cows to like just break even. I'm not going to be transporting that many, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 10 brown Swiss and I'm going to get 10 Holstein. I'm really raising these at this point, unless I need to do something later to also then produce milk. So I'm going to have these delivered. And then we've got the same with our Holsteins. And I did get fully mature animals, because I wanted to do that. So they're out here in the field, as we can see. And, so as we're mowing the grass and doing hay and so forth, we're going to have that, farming simulator stuff where we'll just run through them, but it's alright. But, the barn is open to that, and that's how it works. I don't know if we ever end up with any in here, or if they'll always just be out in the field. But the point is they'll start reproducing. I'm going to be able to see what they're doing. But I need to do something with TMR, and I need to do something with water. So we're going to need water, and we're going to ultimately need to transport milk at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this because this can go on a tractor. This is going to require a truck, which is a whole other investment, and it is 4 times the size, not at 4 times the price, but you know, everything here is just water. So go ahead, we'll buy this set up that way, and then I think this in the center is probably a good compromise. Cost us about $70,000 for the vehicles. So I'll go get those and we'll get moving along. Alright, so I've got my TMR mixer there. Alright, so you can see I'm over here. Interesting. Okay, so it does look like with the sand here, it's shallow enough that I can go ahead and fill. So that was one thing I wasn't sure about, so that is good. So I have water relatively near the farm. So my intent right now is just to kind of do a little bit of each of water, and then kind of try to see what I can do with the feed, because I have the mixtures I need to make. So I'm going to need to get some mineral feed. So I'm going to have to go to the store and get that. That's something I am going to have to buy, but it goes in a low proportion. Alright, so I believe I need to pull in here. Okay, well that was a flop. I've tried the other side. Alright, so at this point, it appears that the enclosures I have for the cows don't require any water. Seems strange, but doing a little bit of research, I should have a water icon. And I think these were basically edited in a way that they don't require that. Alright, so on to feeding. So as you can see, we need grass. I think I need silage of some sort. And then straw. And then mineral feed. Alright, and trying to figure out how this works, I'm just going to buy a silage bale. I'm going to go grab each of those and then dump them in here. So I've put the hay, I believe, is what we've got. As you can see, I did get that bale in, and then it fell apart inside, which is good, because that was one of the things I was wondering, if it was possible or if I'd need something to break the bales. So I'll be back. Alright, so the challenge I have is, you know, it's 5,000. Okay, so hold on, can I do this? I can. Alright, well that's good. So I can actually dump that. Well, that's cool to know. Alright, so then this will maybe work out better than I thought. So let me put this down here, because then I can use my own bales, because my concern was they're too big. Alright, so there we go. We'll leave that there. Now I'll go get the silage bale that I bought. Alright, so this is dumping in the silage. So you can see I'm kind of bringing that down. Alright. So I just wish I had known. Because I think right now, let's see, can I tell what the quantity is? So I have 1,600 liters. Now I guess my question is, do I need any mineral feed? Or at this point, do I have TMR? Because it's telling me I have TMR. So if I turn on the mixer wagon, because yeah, that's TMR, so maybe I don't need mineral feed, which is good. Alright, ouch. Sorry, the wheel jerked on me and messed up my hand. But if I do this, alright, so now I can do this. I assume that's just going to show up somewhere. I don't know, like, where in theory that goes for them to eat. Alright, and so I believe if I give them this, it's 100%. Otherwise, they'll eat hay. It's just my confusion here is, like, if I give them hay, are they 180% effective? You know, it's just confusing. You know, because here, like you can see, this is productivity. It's not looking like I need any water. So I think this is what I need. Alright, at this point, it's basically gone ahead and done that now. So let me see. So the trick is silage, which means I need to be making some silage too. And I can do it with a wrapper. So overall, that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, get the rest of this in so that I use up what I bought here. Oops. Oops, there we go. So we get this in here, and it's nice that you can see it from the you know, from the outside. And that it kind of, you know, shows you that. There we go. So you can see kind of what it did. It broke that all apart. Now I didn't dump it in as nicely as I had before. Now I don't need a lot of that. I need more hay and I need more silage. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and buy and pick up another silage bale that I just got. So with 5,000 liters in there, I need now to get more hay. Alright, so I think this makes sense. It's just then going to be a matter of where do I want to do this mixing? Because obviously I've left these rolls here. And this is kind of what I said, is now we're going to have this weird situation where I need to work in the fields, and obviously we've got cows, and you know, it's not a realism series, so I'm not going to go crazy about, you know, things that I don't need to worry about, I guess. Let me put this down. Because what I think I need to do to not dump the whole thing in is I need to basically do something like that. Although now I'm just turning it, so that's not going to help. Yeah, that's just going to roll it. Alright. Alright, so that might be the best I can do. Because I don't need the whole thing to fall in. I kind of would love for it to be able to do... And maybe I just need to use the front loader or something, the other tool, and that might work better. because this just doesn't have the reach that I need it to have. You know, this is kind of as high as this will go, and obviously my mixer is higher than that. So let's see, are they, yes, they're eating. Their health is going up. And that's kind of what I was trying to do, was get stuff in there before before the 1500. Alright, so here I think, and now if I see, so now I'll get that to get in there, and then basically I can get to a certain point, and I think we'll be good for now, so I'll just kind of put this over here. But this will be this is a good experiment at this point, because okay, now I've got another 1,200 liters, or 12,000 liters, I'm sorry. So I must have had like close to 16,000. Alright, let me see, can I turn sharp enough to get in here, or not? It looks like I can. Alright. And then again, like, it's just letting me feed here. I assume, you know, it looks like the cows are... Okay. I don't understand now. Is it full? I see. It just suddenly stopped. Maybe I moved a bit or something. You know, because it's almost, although maybe that's the output of the cows. So seeing the question is, are they just, so it looks like they're just like eating through the floor. Well, it animates how it animates, right? I can't control that. Alright, well, I'm gonna not leave the trailer in here, but at this point, we're at, you know, 28,000. It's just gonna be a question of how much they eat, like how long that's gonna last. So we've got March, 1,500 hours, basically we have 30,000 liters, 29,000 liters, and then I'll just have to see how that operates at that point. And at this point it doesn't look like I have to do anything with water, but you know, we've already got 208 liters of milk. So I'm gonna have to, you know, it's just going to be kind of an unpleasant discussion, I guess, trying to, because I don't know what I'm going to do, is kind of my issue. Alright, slurry's getting generated. So if I go here, okay, so sorry, I have 208 liters of slurry, I only have 9 liters of milk. You know, and some of that is their health, like as their health goes up. So I'm assuming, given that it went up 10% in like 10 hours, they'll probably be fully healthy and, you know, fully productive. You know, and at this point, other than the silage, I don't, you know, I have everything I need to feed them, and I wanted to start with a small group in case I had to adjust like that. So let's look at, yeah, because this, I think, this is just a manure heap, yep. And so, you know, if I give them straw, they'll generate manure. I don't want manure. So I have nothing, like I can't make a bunker silo here, or, I mean, I could put one in, I suppose. Alright, so just for clarity, it looks like the cow pasture is the only thing that requires me to do water. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the manure heaps. That's going to give me some money and some space. Well, you know what, I think I'll leave the one with the cows, but right here, you know, so I can leave this one because otherwise I can remove that, but I don't necessarily need to. Let's look at the animals once. Alright, so I think we were at 28,699, so they're not using a ton of food. Again, we only have 20 cows in there, and in something that can hold 1,000. So, we're going to let them do their thing, and as they decide to reproduce, because at this point, 416 liters of slurry, I'm hoping the capacity is substantial. If not, we'll get it there, when we can. Alright, so the challenge is the slurry tank is about 52,000 to buy that. That'll get milk over. Alright, so we've got a large silage pit up by the silo. I just remembered that. So we don't actually need to put one in down here, which is good, because I am going to need... I'm moving this right now. I'm going to need to put a production in to make some butter. And as I said that, I realized it's not actually true. I can buy this production in town, and it's going to cost me the same, so that would make more sense. So I'm going to need to buy the dairy, and that will get me, kind of getting what I need. I'm going to need to buy the carpentry building as well, I think, to do planks. I will need a greenhouse at some point, so that might be where I put that. Yeah, because I can actually fit a large greenhouse here. Just hard to tell if I'm clear of the tree or not, because it doesn't look like I am. Yeah, I'm not. I can do that and do a medium. So it's not like I have to have something crazy. Well, that might make the most sense, because I'm going to need to be able to get to the place to take to the pallets, and then obviously I need to be able to put water in there, because that gives me some space there. And yeah, it's got, I can load things, because I don't want to be selling them, obviously, because I'm going to have to deliver them to the right place. So I need lettuce. I'm going to activate that. And then when we're storing, let's see, selling, distributing. Yeah, so we need storing. So I'm going to have to go ahead and probably move pallets out of the way, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get 10,000 liters there. I think that's going to take quite some work here. So I think I've got enough going on right now. I'm going to definitely need to get, take that water tank and fill up the greenhouse, but I can do that later. So right now I can take the eggs to Stu's farm shop. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll at least get part of level 4 going. And more importantly, that will also give us some money back here. It's not going to be enough, but I am not certain that buying more fields, it's very tempting, but I've got some things to consider. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got, and I'm going to actually ask for some comments down below on, give me your reasons on if we should get a field, what field we should get based on the info I'm going to show. Because my hesitation is field 19, it doesn't have great productivity. But I also don't want to be like a long way from the farm, because then that just starts to create the logistical nightmares. I mean, it's hard enough to get around here as it is. So 44 I think is worth considering. There might be some others, But if I've got to bring crop back to the silos, for example, you know, that's gonna require some work. Not that we can't do that, but you know, the goal is not to turn this into a transportation series where suddenly all I'm doing is moving things. I mean, it's gonna be hard enough having productions out here, you know, having to come here and get butter, things like that. So, but, you know, that's ultimately how we will keep expanding, and we might be okay with buying some land. The challenge becomes, you know, we need a good amount of money to do that. Just always want to double check. This is in fact Stu's Farm Shop, so this should sell the items here. Let's see. Maybe I need to unstrap them. Or do I go somewhere else? No, because that's the debris crusher. No, this is it. So why is it not taking them? I really don't want to skip this if I can avoid it, but it just doesn't look like it's letting me do this. Alright, so I'm gonna try to go over here, because this may be similar to something I've got on another map. So this may actually be the sell point where eggs can go, even though it flagged me somewhere else. There we go. Alright, thank goodness. So there we go, we can see the eggs moving along. Just about there. And there we go, 16,000 plus 12. Alright, so 1/3 of our VIP orders done. But yeah, so grains go in there, other things go there. So it is a bit challenging to figure out what to do in some cases, but that's always some of what we're fighting with maps we're unfamiliar with. You kind of have to learn the trigger points. You have to learn, you know, where things work. I mean, my bigger concern was that it suddenly was telling me to sell something where I couldn't. I thought I heard a car coming, so I don't want, obviously, to have that situation. Alright, I'll get back to the farm. Alright, so I'm gonna park here, or stop here, just because we get a little bit of visibility. Because the fields we have here and then 44 are probably what we're talking about. So if I go here, you can see what I'm looking at is, again, the precision farming situation. So just to give you a frame of reference, this is our best field. This one's -83. Actually, I guess some of these are better. So, you know, the sandy loam is what we are really looking for. This is what was intriguing to me, is this field, which is also bigger than this, but I think that's because it includes some of these, you know, this building. So I don't know that we're not paying for land that really isn't useful to us. You know, has 101 potential. You know, because, you know, I think loam is ultimately what you really want, you know, because you can see here, and this is what was definitely intriguing, is like this one's 117, and that's almost all field. So I'm potentially willing to do that. Because really the entrance to 44, I think, is right around here. and the entrance to this is right there. So, it's not that much further away. But I think if I start like looking at fields like this, which are still good fields, I've got a lot of transport things going on here. We have to see. I'm not sure that there's a road that goes along there. The 6 isn't great, 4 isn't great, 13 is, but 13 isn't very big, and so 14's not great, but then I think, 18 was good, 17's not bad, and 20's okay. So I don't know if it was intentional in how they place things, but so right now that is the best field by far, but that's again because of how much loam there is. So loam is, the kind of the holy grail, and we got 73 loam here. This one's 89%. But that is a long, long way, down. Basically, we'd have to go through all this road, get over here. I just think, maybe eventually, if the series goes long enough, that makes sense. But yeah, I'm a little hesitating. This is a decent sized field. But again, we've got a lot of loamy sand, which is kind of what we have here, where it's almost fully that, and this is almost half and half, so it doesn't really change much, which makes sense when you think about how you would think the soil patterns would go. And here we've at least got some loam, literally no loamy sand. It's like, we're across the river. It seems the loamy sand has kind of left. It's really stuck in this space. So, there is some temptation there, because if I look here and here, I don't know that this field is substantially smaller than this. And, it does say, 4.43 hectares, 3.39, but basically you can also see we're paying 53,000 a hectare there. We're paying 68,000. Where here though, that was what was intriguing, is the value is really good, and it's not that hard to get that little bit. I can go sell something and have enough money to get that right now. So those are the things that are kind of up in the air. So you might need to re-look at that as I'm clicking around and kind of think about it. But I'm going to go ahead right now and not do anything. And I'm going to, when this episode airs, we'll see what people think, if we should expand the farm, or if we, just don't buy land at this point and wait. So I'm not really set on anything at this point, because as I've said over and over, this VIP situation is definitely got me thinking about things in a lot of different ways. Obviously we just sold off a manure heap. We don't need any more eggs, until we get here, and we need 5,000, and we've already got those, so I'm just going to let things sit the way they are now. I don't need to do anything there. We're waiting for the sunflowers and the oats, but the value it's going to give us, unless, of course, the VIP mod is going to then take into account that we have this massive field, and then suddenly our requested value is for everything are going to go through the roof. And let me just explain, as you're trying to figure out, should I put money in land, should I not? I don't think it's going to make sense for specialty crops like this, potatoes and sugarcane out here in level 7. I'm going to rent the equipment, especially for sugarcane. I mean, I've never done sugarcane. I certainly don't want to suddenly buy a bunch of equipment, which I know is extremely expensive, and then never have it come up again. We're making 37,000 pounds off 92,000 liters of sugarcane. Like, this is, and if I remember correctly, sugarcane's a very high yield crop, so these things may work fine on our smaller fields. I know potatoes certainly is. So getting 61,000 liters of potatoes, I'm not worried about that. I think I'm going to easily be able to do that. If you've watched my multiplayer thing on FSN, my FSN series, the long-running series on the channel, I mean, I had a harvest of over 2 million liters of potatoes on a, again, a massive field, but 61,000 liters is not something I'm too worried about there. But just if you're trying to say, gee, this is gonna, you're gonna need $300,000 just for the equipment for potatoes, for example, I'm gonna lease that stuff. Just like I'm kind of leasing stuff for sunflowers and so forth. I don't know that I'm gonna outlay a lot on further equipment. I mean, at this point we can feed our cows. It's going to be a bit challenging, for example, however, to take the slurry, because like the slurry tank I'm looking at, I think does like 8,000 liters. So, I'm going to have to take, 15 trips to the BGA to sell it. But right now, that's one time. So, it's going to be a unpleasant day per se, but should be okay. So anyway, as I said, a lot of just kind of talking there. I know, not terribly visually exciting, but this is kind of part of what I expected the VIP series would become at some point, was just really trying to talk about the business of the farm and what it makes sense to do. So I can't fulfill anything else right now on the VIP orders. I don't have enough oats, and obviously I have no sunflowers. So I'm not going to continue to do anything else today. We've gone a couple more hours. Let's just look at the cows. They're going ahead. They're starting to do things. And again, for those of you that are catching the little chickens as they come up, yes, they have no food right now. I'm not having them produce eggs. So I'm kind of taking advantage of that right now, because once again, this isn't a realistic series per se. It's more working with the VIP orders, so I'm trying to do what I can to maximize that. And since the game functions that way, I'm not viewing it as a cheat. Again, feel free to comment if you feel somehow I'm being disingenuous there, but at this point, pulling off eggs to just stack them up when I don't have a giant need for them, and it's not as if I'm sitting here saying I need tons and tons of money. I'm in good shape. The last piece, obviously, with the field, we're looking at a field here, if I go with this, that probably easily encompasses pretty much everything I have. So it's going to take a while to work that field. We're still in the reality of being in the British countryside and not having a lot of maneuverability. I'm not going to suddenly go buy a gigantic harvester or something. Again, I may upgrade something if we do that, but we're going to be cash poor if we go ahead and buy this right now, because I can barely afford it. But I've also got plans with or a source with the VIPs to generate a good amount of cash. So for now, just let me look ahead. I mean, we have hay, we have straw, like literally it's just crops. There's nothing I need to do on the grass fields right now. You know, I should be good taking the bales to these guys and selling them. Now, that may turn out to prove out incorrectly. Obviously, I'm going to be feeding the cows because I need them to produce slurry and I need them to produce butter. So, similarly to, you know, I feed the chickens to produce eggs, but I don't need eggs right now. So, I think I've done enough talking. Hopefully, I've not lost everybody, but I will. I'll see you next time.